Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are all doing well. We are in chapter number 7, that is the nomadic tribes, settled communities, and their lifestyle. In the last classes, we gone through the system called Varna. Varna is nothing but Jati system, in which Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, that is called the caste system. We also studied about various types of tribal groups in India and how the numerous tribal groups are seen in the different states. And we also gone through the meaning of the word tribal. The people who preserve the rich culture and heritage, and most of the tribals, the culture and heritage is passed from generation to generation through the oral tradition. So oral tradition of passing from one generation to another generations. We also gone through the various tribal clans. Gadi shepherds of Himalaya, Nagas, Ahoms and many other shepherds of North India. So we also studied about the tribals of Karnataka or South India, that is Koragas, Vetaras, Marwars of Tamil Nadu and Kolis of Gujarat, Gollas of Maharashtra and Karnataka. So let us continue the discussion from what we left over in the previous video slides. The large tribe of Bhils was spread across western and central India. In the late 16th century, many of them become settled agriculturists. Now, what do you mean settled agriculturist? Means buying or purchasing a piece of land and constructing an house and settled and involved in agricultural work. So slowly the tribals, especially the Bhils, they stopped their nomadic habit or moving from place to place, and they started settle down and started taking care of agriculture work. Many Bhils clans nevertheless remained hunter-gatherers, but few remained as hunter-gatherers. I explained you what is called hunter-gatherers. Hunters are those who hunt animals for the purpose of their food. Gatherers are those who collect the forest product and sell these forest products in the market. So they are called as hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers is a very, very traditional or an old profession of Indian tribes. The Gonds were found in a great numbers across the present day Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. So which are the states where Gonds are found? So Gonds are found in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. These are the states where Gonds are generally found. Okay, now let us move to the next major topic, that is called nomadic pastoralists. So two words here you can see. Nomadic means people who move from place to place. Why they move from place to place? Because most of the nomadic tribe, they are pastoral in occupation. Pastoral means those who are their livelihood due to the animals, means they get their livelihood from the animal products. Now why these people or the pastoralists move from place to place? Because in search of pasture or fodder for the animals. That's the reason why they keep moving from place to place. This is what we call seasonal movement. Okay, seasonal movement considered as one of the important activity in the pastoral nomadic tribe. Currently, you may be observed that in the month of October, when you are traveling, you may observe that large number of sheeps are moving besides the road, and one or two people will be there, shepherds and pony, or one or two dogs will be there. So this is one example of pastoral nomads. Why they move from place to place? Because they move because of the pasture or fodder for the animals. Now let us see what is pastoral nomadic. Nomadic pastoralists moved or a long distance with their animals. They lived on milk and other pastoral products. So mainly milk and other pastoral products. So based on that they survived. They also exchanged wool, ghee, etc. with the settled agriculture for grain, clothes and utensils and end products. Now let us try to understand how beautiful the economic structure is here. What they will do? The pastoral nomads, they sell their milk, wool or ghee and other animal products. To whom they will sell? They sell to the people who are settled down. Means they are settled down and they are taking care of agriculture work. From them what these pastoral nomads will take? From them the pastoral nomads will take grain, cloth or utensils and other products. So this is a purely a barter exchange. Means where earlier days the money had a less role to play. Here the commodities are exchanged just to get one more commodity, and this is how a simple economic activity was carried out in the olden days. Okay, these are the few paintings of Beals hunting deer by night. So this is how. The second one, chain of mobile traders. This is what chain of mobile traders connected to India to outside the world. Here you see nuts being gathered and loaded on the back of camel. You can see here in the back of camel. Central Asian traders brought such goods to India, and Banjaras and other traders carried these to the local market. Now you see, here you can see. So this is how they bring, and here it is sold to another person, it's sold to third person, and this is what they say called the chain of mobile trade. From where they used to bring? They used to bring from Central Asian country and Central Asian countries, and they used to sell to the local, to the Banjaras, and Banjaras carried these products to the local market. How? This is how the trade was going on in those days. They brought and sold these goods as moved from one place to another, transporting them on the animal backs. This is how they transported. The Banjaras were the most important trader nomads. What do you mean by nomads? I already explained. The people who move from place to place. Their caravans are called Tanda. Tanda is a place where Banjaras generally live. So that is called Tanda. Sultan Alauddin Khilji, chapter number 3, used the Banjaras to transport grain to the city markets. So Banjara is a tribal group. Of course, in Bijapur we can see the Banjara tribal group. So Banjaras, the tribal group, Alauddin Khilji used them to transport the grain from city market, and Emperor Jahangir wrote memories that Banjaras carried grain on their bullock from different areas and sold it in the towns. So in the history also we can see the reference of a tribal or a nomadic population. So what is the nomadic population? Nomadic population was Banjara. In Bijapur area you can see Banjara community is there, and initially this Banjara community, they helped in transport of grains from a particular place to market. Tanda is a place where generally the settlement of Banjara communities are seen in Tandas. They transport goods during the time of Alauddin Khilji as well as during the time of Jahangir. They transported food grain for the Mughal army during the military campaign. With a large army, there could be 1 lakh bullocks carrying the grain. So Banjara tribal group was one of the largest tribe, helped to the various kings during the early as well as medieval Indian history, mainly medieval Indian history. Okay. So what is nomad and itinerant group? Nomads are wandering people. Many of them are pastoralists. I told you what is pastoralist, who depend on livestock, who roam from one place, one pasture to another with their flock and herd. Similarly, such as craft persons, peddlers, entertainers, travel from a place to place, practicing their different occupation. So what is nomadic? Told you, moving from place to place in search of fodder. So let us study a note about Banjaras. Peter Mundy, an English trader who came to India during early 17th century, he described Banjaras as, in the morning we met in Tanda of Banjaras with 1400 oxen. They were all laden with the grains such as wheat, rice. These Banjaras carry their household wives and children, household commodity, wives and children along with them. One Tanda consists of many families. Their way of life is similar to that of carriers who continuously travel from place to place. They own their own oxen, means bull. They are sometimes hired by the merchants, but most commonly they are themselves merchants, and they buy grain where it is cheaply available and carry it to a place where it is costly, dearer. From there they again reload their oxen, and anything that can be profitably sold in other places. In a tanda more there may be as many as 600 to 700 persons. They do not travel more than 6 to 7 miles in a day, that too in a cool weather. After unloading their oxen, they return them free, graze them, as there is enough land here. No one was forbidden to graze the animals. Find out how grain is transported from village to cities at present. In what way this is similar to or different from Banjaras function. Today you may be observed that how they transported, that is by using of transport vehicles. So transport vehicles, what happened here? Today you can see the factory owners, or they directly visit village, purchase commodities and transport with the help of trucks. It was completely different during the medieval Indian history. Many pastoral tribes reared and sold animals such as cattle, horses. So these are the common animals which were sold to the prosperous people, means rich people. Different caste of petty peddlers also travelled from village to village. They made and sold wares such as ropes, reeds, straw, matting and coarse sacks. Sometimes mendicants acted as wandering merchants. There were also caste of entertainers. Entertainer means, you can see the circus people and all, who performed in different towns and villages for their livelihood. Changing of society and how the new caste system originated. Now till now we studied about the how Banjara community, pastoral nomads and other important pastoral nomads who moved from place to place over a period of time. But is it remained always same? No. It changed over a period of changing structure of the society. When the society changed, now today you see, definitely no very few Banjaras maybe are they are following their professional, the traditional profession, but most of them shifted to other professions. The new caste and hierarchies. As economy and the needs of the society grew, people with new skills were required. Smaller caste or jatis emerged within varnas. Varna is nothing but caste. For example, new caste appears amongst Brahmins. On the other hand, many tribes and social groups were taken into caste-based society given status of jati. Now, what you have to understand here, the jati was origin because of the profession. Okay, artisans, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, carpenter, masons, they were all recognized as separate jati by the Brahmins. So Brahmins, those who worked in the temple and related activities, called as Brahmins. Other than Brahmins, the new group of jati origin which was called as artisans, the blacksmiths, goldsmiths and all those things. Other than Varna, because of the basis of for organizing society. So jati or Varna system started in the later, that is after 17th century. Now let us read the note about the jati. A 12th century inscription from Oyakondan Udayar, Tiruchinapalli Taluka at present day of Tamil Nadu described deliberations in Sabha. Sabha and Samiti is nothing but today's local self-government. So those days it was called as Sabha and Samiti. We studied in the Chola Empire. Okay, how we studied that, how in Chola Empire the members of Sabha and Samiti, I hope you remember how the members of Sabha and Samiti are elected. So that we studied in the chapter number 2. They deliberated the status of group known as Rathakaras. Ratha is chariot. Okay. So those who make chariot and they lie down their occupation, which were include architecture, building, coaches and chariots, erecting gateway for the temple with the image in them, preparing wooden equipments used to perform sacrifices, building mandavas, making jewels for the king. So during the time of 12th century, the Sabha and Samiti, they definitely explained about the job of a particular jati. Rathakaras, Ratha is chariot. Those who built chariot, what they have to supposed to do, it is clearly mentioned in this particular deliberations on jati, in which area, that is in Tamil Nadu. Okay, left out topics and question and answers. Let us continue in the next chapter. Till then, take care. Wish you a wonderful day. So what we completed today, we have gone through with the pastoral nomads, how the pastoral nomads were involved in economic activity, how they used to sell their economic products, their products, milk, animal based product, and they used to get some grain from the farmers or the agriculturist. We also studied about detailed how Banjara community was used by Alauddin Khilji and Emperor Jahangir, and how Banjaras, they are basically a trading community who travel from place to place and sold the commodities. Then over a period of time, how new caste origin because of the changes which took place in the society over a period of time. That is what we speak about. Jati or Varna system. Deliberations of Jati, deliberations of Varna system, that is what we studied. And this is a bronze crocodile, so made by the tribal community of Orissa. So left out topics, let us continue in the next class. Take care, wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.